So UFC Fight Night Bonfim versus Brown is happening this weekend, and we're going to break down the card. Just some quick things I'm going to mention. This card is a lot better than last week's card on paper. This card on paper should actually be a pretty fun one. You look at the card from top to bottom. There's actually some pretty fun fights on here. And the main event should be good. Should it be a main event? I don't think so, but it could be. It could be a lot worse. Anyway, let's break it down. We have the first fight of the night, which is Robert Valentin versus Jackson McVeigh. McVeigh just lost a couple months ago to Bruno Ferreira. But I don't know. He's an underdog here. I don't agree with it. I didn't think he looked too bad. I know it was a very short fight. I think it may have went for like 3 minutes. Let me just double check that. Just to make sure. But I think, what I've seen from Jackson McVeigh is he had some pretty good jiu-jitsu in that fight, good grappling, and we have seen Valentin, he struggles a little bit against good grapplers. He's also not a bad striker, and it was also on short notice. I feel like we gotta give McVeigh some level of credit. I don't think he looked too bad. Hold on, it won't let me find the card. That's awesome. This is great. I think this was UFC 319 or 318. 318. It would have been 318, I think. Damn, he's been out for a while. Now that I think about it, it's not as early as I thought. Okay, it went for 3 minutes and 15 seconds, but he almost had a submission. I mean, that's somewhat good. I mean, what are we comparing here? Are we comparing being somewhat competent on the ground against Bruno Ferreira on short notice, or getting absolutely victimized by Atiba Gutierrez, and also getting arguably winning a decision against Torres Finney just based on the fact that Torres Finney did no damage the whole time he was taking you down? But I don't know. I'm going to go with McVeigh here. Maybe I shouldn't keep believing this guy, but I want to just believe in Jackson McVeigh, and I'm going to pick him against Robin Valentin, who he's on a 3-fight losing streak, lost to Ryan Loader, by ground and pound, got destroyed by... Well, he didn't really get destroyed by Finney, as we just previously mentioned. Got destroyed by Atiba Gutierrez, and then now he's fighting Jackson McVeigh on a 3-fight losing streak. Valentin was meant to be the next Yuri Prohaska, but I'm going to actually trust in Jackson McVeigh to get this one done. Then we have Miles Johns versus Daniel Marcos. Both of these guys lost their previous opponents. Oh, it doesn't even have it here. I think they were meant to fight maybe last week's card, and they got moved to this card. I'm not quite sure, but Miles Johns is coming off 2 losses against Matsumoto. He looked decent in that fight. He got destroyed by Lima. Daniel Marcos is coming off that loss to Montel Jackson, which doesn't age too well. Had a competitive fight with Adrian Yanez. I'll go with Daniel Marcos. I trust him a little more. I think he can win a decision here. So I'm going to go with Daniel Marcos. Then we got Tisha Pennington versus Denise Gomez. Oh, God, who do I pick here? Tisha Pennington arguably beat the UFC champion. She should have beat Mackenzie Dern. I'm pretty sure she got robbed against Ricci as well. And didn't Denise Gomez just lose to Angela Hill? She's on a 3-fight winning streak. Tells you how much I keep. I honestly, some of these fights just pass you by. And okay, she lost to Angela Hill 2 years ago. Holy shit. Time has gone very slow. Well, really fast, actually. But, I swear that fight was more recently. That's very bizarre. I'm going to go with Tisha Pennington. She can just wrestle here. And I believe she will just wrestle here. Tisha Pennington is still very good. I think she'll beat Denise Gomez. Then we got Josh Hokid versus Max Gimenez. I'm going to go with Josh Hokid here. Big size advantage for Max, but Max is he's not really beat any UFC level comp from memory. 7-8, 9-9, 6-4. He beat the Big Mac himself, Camel Graham, who was fighting Alexander Romanov. 1-3, got knocked out by a 2-4 guy. He's got a jiu-jitsu background, but he doesn't really utilize his jiu-jitsu and MMA. I think that Josh Hokid will probably win this fight. He'll probably just out-cardio him. He'll probably out-cardio him. He's a good wrestler. Maybe he gets caught with a submission on bottom, but I doubt it. I don't know. Max Gimis doesn't strike me as fucking Max de Bronx Grimace. Let's just call him Grimace. We're going to call him Max Grimace. I'm going to go with Josh Hokit. I think he'll be able to win this fight. He's got lighter man skill at heavyweight. That's a good trait to have. He's also athletic. Then we've got Mayra Buno Silva versus Jacqueline Calavacante. I can't ever pick Mayra Buno Silva because she just looks so bad since she fought Raquel Pennington. Fight against Home was overturned. So technically she hasn't won since 2023. Pennington beat her. She dominated her. She got destroyed by Macy Shayasson. She got beat by Jasmine Vicious. And I think Jacqueline Calavacante is pretty good. I probably aren't pronouncing Calavacante right, but I don't know. It sounds cool to say like Calavacante. Calavalcanti. But I'm gonna go with her. I think she's decent. She's a pretty good fighter. Yeah, I think she'll get it done. She will get it done. Probably by decision. Then we got Adrian Yanez versus Christian Quinones. Quinones actually was doing really good against Barcelos. In hindsight, he looked really good in that fight until he didn't. And now Barcelos is on like a 4-fight winning streak. 3-fight winning streak, okay. But out of these 3, Quinones gave him the toughest fight, weirdly enough. So that's like just MMA for you. But he also lost to an old man in Kwang Ho Kang. But Kwang Ho Kang was one of those like unks who was still getting it done. But I think this is a good fight for Yanez. But typically Quinones, if he does lose, it is typically by submission. And Yanez doesn't really have many paths to victory. Well, not paths to victory. He doesn't typically win by a submission. I don't even know if he has any submissions, to be honest. Let's have a look. He's got a triangle choke on the record. That's it. He's got 1 submission from what I can see. But I think he'll be the better striker here than Quinones. I think he'll go in there, he'll fucking jab him up, bam, 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 bam. Like bah, 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 uppercut, get it done. Beast him up against the fence, mix it to the body and get him out of there. This is low-key a bit of a layup for Yanez. Is he coming off a win? I can't remember. Did he get a layup his last fight, or is that the Marcos fight? It was the Marcos fight, okay. So what they've been doing with Yanez lately is since he lost to Rob Font, they've just been giving him like these lower competition type guys like Vinicius Salvador, who's not very good. Then they're giving him Daniel Marcos, who's a step up. He loses. It was a close fight. I thought Marcos won. And then after that, they're giving him Quinones on a 2-fight losing streak. Like they're trying to build him up because he was like a big MMA Twitter star. If anyone knows the lore, it was Randy Costa and Adrian Yanez. They will rematch for the title one day. That doesn't look like it's happening anytime soon. Maybe in dirty boxing. But I think Yanez is good enough to beat Quinones. Then we got Jamal Emmers versus Hyder Emil. I'm going to trust in... I honestly think this is a really good matchup for Hyder Emil because he can just do what Nate the Train did. I do worry about his chin, obviously, because Jamal Emmers does hit hard. He's coming off a win over Gabriel Miranda. But you should be beating Gabriel Miranda, in fairness. And he does win one, lose one. That is currently the streak he's on. I think that Hyder Emil's going to go in there, put that pressure on him, get in his face, and I think he's going to be able to knock him out like Nate Landwehr did. On paper, Hyder Emil is a very bad matchup for Jamal Emmers. You get in his face, you pressure him, he's not going to really have much of an answer for it. I'm going to go with Hyder Emil. We've got Marco Tulio versus Christian Leroy Duncan. I'm so sorry to Otis, the beefy one. He's going to probably watch this. But I think I'm going to go with Tulio. I think Tulio's got a bit more tools to get this one done. I think he can grapple. He's a good striker. Well, does he have no submissions? But he's got a rear naked choke. I generally think that he has a clear path to victory here on the feet. But I do think on the feet it's going to be dangerous, especially in the clinch. Christian Leroy Duncan is very good. Like, don't get me wrong, he's very good. But I don't know, Marco Tulio just impressed me a lot against Trayshawn Gore. I know he got dropped with a jab, but he did put on some big pressure. And I don't know if Leroy Duncan's going to be able to fight as good on the back foot. Plus, if Tulio wants, I think he can mix in the wrestling. I don't know, man. I think Tulio is really good. I think Tulio is a really good prospect. I think Christian Leroy Duncan's also really good, especially in the clinch. But I don't know, Tulio just impresses me so much. But I mean, Leroy Duncan did just beat Eric Anders, which is an impressive. Like, he's the first person to ever properly knock him out. So, like, Christian Leroy Duncan's got a good shot here, but I'm going to go with Tulio. Otis the beefy one, I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry, Otis. I know you'll watch this, but I still believe in CLD. I just think that this is going to be a tough fight for him. But stylistically, it's just a bad one for him. I feel like the pressure in the face from Marco Tulio is going to be tough. But yeah, I'm going to go with Tulio by decision. I don't think he's going to knock out Leroy Duncan. Leroy Duncan seems like he has a pretty good chin. Maybe he could submit him, but I'm going to go with the likely outcome of a decision. Then we go Ricky Simone versus Hani Barcelos. Oh, goodness gracious me. This is another one of those tough fights to predict. Simone is looking like he's on a good streak at the moment. He just beat Cameron Smotherman, but that was a lot more competitive than it should have been, and he knocked the fuck out of Javid Basharat. But you know what? At this point, I'm done doubting. I'm just going to go with Hani Barcelos. He's on his unk run at the moment. He's on his crazy unk run. I don't know how he's doing it. I don't know how he's looking so good lately. I mean, to be fair, like, Cody Garbrandt's not like the craziest winner. Plus, he didn't knock him out. He's one of the only people who beat him by decision. But, like, he's on a good run. And the Peyton Talbot win is just going to age very well because Peyton Talbot did go in there and beat Felipe Lima, who I rate very highly. So, you know what? Fuck it. I don't know. Does it make any sense? I don't know. I'm going to go with Ronnie Barcelos to win by decision. Probably even knockout. I don't know. I'll go decision. I think he'll win this fight against Ricky Simone. Why? Because fuck you. That's why. I don't know. I don't have really any reason to pick him, but I have no reason not to pick him. Man, this is a tough one. It's really tough. Obviously, Simone's younger, and at any moment, Barcelos' lunk run can come to an end. But I do just trust in Ronnie Barcelos to get this one done. Do I know? Oh my god. Why am I in this industry? No, I will go with Barcelos to get this one done. Then we got Ismail Bonfim versus Chris Padilla. This is another tough one. Chris Padilla is on a good little underrated run. He's 3-0 in the UFC. Bonfim is, I want to say 2-2. He is 2-2. He's a very good 2-2 though. I don't know. Padilla doesn't do anything that really like stands out to me, but he does just keep winning. Like Rong Zhu aged very well. Jai Herbert is a good win to have. James Lontop is in whatever, but he destroyed him. What are his losses like? Submission by Gabe Green. Like, I don't know. He's just such a tricky customer. He is just a very, very tricky customer, and that's Bonfim. I mean, to be fair to Bonfim, like against Nazim Sadikov, that was very like not fluky, but like it was a very weird one. He was looking good before that. Vince Pacelli didn't look very good against, but Benoit Saint Denis is good. Isn't a bad loss because Benoit Saint Denis is a beast. He did the exact same thing to Mauricio Ruffy. Therese Finney KO'd him, brutally KO'd him, and that's first round. Like, I don't. You know what? I'm going to go with Bonfim. I think Bonfim can piece up Padilla. Padilla is good, but come on, you can't keep getting away with this. Then we got Muslim Salikov versus Uros Medic. I'm going to go with Muslim Salikov here. Uros Medic got dropped in his last win against Urbina. He got knocked out by Soriano. I don't know. I think Muslim Salikov can KO him here. This is a really fun fight. Salikov's old, but he's on like a 3-5 winning streak now. He's actually on like somehow Unka's got some momentum. Like he was on a 2. He was like 2-1. He was like 3-1 in his last 4 at one point. Now he's on a good little run of things. Beat Ponzinibbio, beat Kanan Song by KO. Then KO Carlos Liu. How did he do that? I don't know. It was a weird one. Just went in there and absolutely starched Carlos Liu, who got robbed against Renat Fakhretdinov. I'm gonna trust the Muslim Salikov. I don't think Uros Medic's chin is made for welterweight. I think the power is too much, and I think Muslim Salikov is going to catch him at some point. Maybe Uros Medic KOs him, but fuck it, I'm going to go with Muslim Salikov here. There's a lot of it's MMA. It doesn't make sense. Let's just go that way. Matt Schnell versus Joseph Morales. We're going with Matt Schnell, everybody. I'm joking. I'm going to go with Joseph Morales here. He looked very good in the Ultimate Fighter fight that he just had. Shouldn't have beat Manel Rodriguez, but he destroyed Idris. Looked very improved. And does he have KOs? He's got KOs. All right, he's going to knock Matt Schnell out. Like, is Matt Schnell coming off a win? We got Matt Schnell coming off a win in 2025. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. I think Joseph Morales is going to knock Matt Schnell out. He's just been KO'd too many times. I can't trust him. He was even not looking that good against Jimmy Flick at points in their fight. Like, I know he ended up winning, but he wasn't looking the best in that fight either, and it's fucking Jimmy Flick. So let's go Joseph Morales to get this one done by KO. Then we got Gabriel Bonfim versus Randy Rudeman. Rudeman, it's Rude Boy. Rude Man. Sounds like a fucking superhero. But I'm going to go with Randy Brown. I think he's going to win a TKO. Third, fourth round. I think he's got the better cardio. I worry about his chin, obviously, because Randy Brown's another Matt Schnell. Not as bad, but he does get rocked and hurt in almost every single fight he's had. But I think there is a big path to victory here for Randy Brown. We've seen that Wonder Boy, he's the better gas tank, stuffed the takedowns. I think Randy Brown's also a tricky grappler. He's big, he's massive for the weight class. He's going to have a big reach advantage. He does seem to have good cardio. He's a very good striker. He's slick. I think he's going to be able to beat up Bonfim. I think Bonfim's going to go in there grappling early, try and put a pace on him. I think he's going to gas himself out doing that. I think Randy Brown's going to start to really piece him up badly, beat him up, and then finish him. Sort of like how Nicholas Dalby did it. Like, we just know Bonfim is a bit of a gasser. He does gas a little bit. And Randy Brown, if he sees you gassing, he's just going to put it on you. And Randy Brown is very underrated. Where's my mouse? There it is. Like, look at his record. He's coming off a KO over Nicholas Dalby. Impressive win. Should have beat Brian Battle, which is a good win in and of itself. But look at this win streak he was on. Beat Alex Oliveira, then he beat Jared Gooden, Chaos Williams, Francisco Trinaldo, who's like one of the generational lungs. Lost to the UFC welterweight champion Jack Della Maddalena, and then beat Wellington Turman, beat Muslim Salikov, beat Alessi Zaleski. Should have beat Brian Battle, then beat Nicholas Dalby. I mean, come on, guys. He's on a good run, and I rate his recent wins a lot better than Bonfim. Bonfim beat Ange Lusa and robbed Wonderboy. I don't care what Fat Boy Joey says. Clear win. Choked Chaos Williams out cold. Impressive, but Brown beat him first. I don't know. I'm going to go with Randy Brown, man. I really trust in Randy Brown here. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't. But he's a big underdog, and I don't like these odds. And it's not just because of that. I just generally think he is the better fighter here than Gabriel Bonfim. He can win the cardio battle. I think he can keep the fight standing. I don't think Bonfim's a big power puncher. I don't even think his striking's really that competitive with Randy Brown, to be honest. Yeah, you could catch him just because Randy Brown doesn't have the best chin. But, like, I don't know. How many KOs does this guy even have? I know he's got a boxing background, but he's only got 3 wins by KO. His striking's a bit wild. Leaves himself open. I don't even think he has the best chin himself, Bonfim. So I'm going to go with Randy Brown to get this one done by a late TKO, third or fourth round. I think this 5-rounder is really going to benefit Randy Brown here. Because, I mean, from what I've seen, he's got pretty good cardio. I can't remember a time where he's ever really slowed down. And he's got some power in his hands. Good kicker. He can fight long in this fight too. He's going to have a big reach advantage. Now, the one thing I don't like about Randy Brown is he gets cocky. And when he gets cocky, he starts taunting. He starts fucking emoting and then gets KO'd out cold. He does it every time. He's another Brendan Allen who typically does that too. But I think Randy Brown is going to be smart enough to win this fight. And I think he's going to win it by TKO. Or even sub Gabriel Bonfim, who's gassed out. He beats him up, drops him, gets him like a choke while he's like rocked. I could see something like that. So I'm going to go Randy Brown by TKO though. And yeah, that's my predictions for UFC Fight Night, Bonfim versus Brown. But let me know who you guys have winning these fights. And I'll see you guys next time. Shout out to M and shout out to the Mixed Martial Artists, the 2 members of the channel. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye. Everybody, goodbye. Adios.